I just wanted to give you an update. It's been a while and I've been quiet for some time, so I thought I just wanted to share why I've taken this time out and let you know what's been going on. I'm hoping to get back to some more videos now, but I thought I'll start off with this one just to explain my absence for a little bit. There is some good news about Ariella. So I know a lot of people have been following the story about Ariella and wanting to know what's been going on, and I've not said anything for a long time about that, but so I will get to that, and there is some good news, but I'm going to start off with the not so cheerful news. The past few months have been incredibly difficult for me. October and the first couple of weeks of November were some of the hardest I've experienced, really. I got so sick. It's the sickest I have been since I had my really nasty horse riding accident back in November 2021. Anyway, so this time, as part of my illness, I completely lost my voice, and even when it started coming back, it was just really, really croaky for quite some time. So it just wasn't going to be great for recording videos, because sound is so important. A lot of people like to listen and not just watch. So my energy was really, really low as well. I was just fighting this infection that I had. I had to take 2 courses of antibiotics and I was just like totally, utterly exhausted. So whilst I was unwell, I had that really terrible shock that one morning I just woke up to find my cherished giant rabbit. He is a house rabbit, Jasper. You may have met him, lying lifeless in the living room. It was quite clear that he was completely dead. So it was a died suddenly event, completely unexpected. He was only 3.5 years old, which is roughly equivalent to 30 in human years. So apart from a minor health issue, which we were treating, he seemed incredibly strong and healthy. And I'd even taken him to the best rabbit specialist in London only like 10 days before. And it was only a minor thing that he had, really. Everything looked fine. Well, it seemed that it was just a minor thing that he had. But his sudden passing has just been so utterly heartbreaking, because completely wasn't prepared for that at all. So it's been really challenging right from the start of this year. Back in January, I had another fall off my horse. Thankfully, it wasn't as bad as the accident I had in 2021, but it completely knocked my confidence, and horse riding was my passion. So I hadn't fully regained that confidence since that first accident, and it's really set me back quite a lot in my riding. So anyway, let's go back. So soon after Jasper sadly passed away, I'd already had a pre-booked trip to Florida for a conference, and I wasn't really feeling well enough to go, but good to get away from daily routines to help me get over the sad experience, I guess. But I still, as I said, wasn't that well and had to start a second course of antibiotics whilst I was away. And it really took its toll on my energy. So on the way back from Florida, the airline completely lost my luggage, and it contained my most favourite clothes. Yeah, I know they're only material possessions, but still really would have meant I would have had to start my whole wardrobe from afresh. And obviously my daily essentials as well were in there. So for 2 weeks, it was incredibly stressful, endless phone calls with the airlines because they literally just couldn't track the luggage at all. But after 2 weeks, I eventually got it back. So that whole deal now is behind me, but it did leave me quite drained. I recently had a craniosacral therapy because my infection that I was battling was in my head. It was my sinuses and my throat. I was like so congested. I had like really high fever. My fever was like 39. And yeah, my infection had come down by the time I went for the cranial therapy, but still was really exhausted. But that has seemed to have helped, and my energy is now gradually returning. So I don't know if you know much about craniosacral therapy, but it is very, very gentle, where they're trying to manipulate your head back into realignments. Yeah, but it did seem to help because my energy is gradually coming back now. So that's why I'm getting to be able to start some videos again. And now to give you the update about Ariella, as I know, like, you have been following her story and probably more wondering what's been happening. So at first I wasn't really sure if I should share what I know about her, because I have been in touch with this animal communicator. Her name is Kathy, and she's from ispeakwithanimals.com, and she's been incredibly helpful. And while most of her services I've been paying for them, she has been generous and giving me lots of extra snippets in between our sessions. So she's been really good. And there's been a lot of backwards and forth and detective work that I've been doing myself. I'm feeding that back to Kathy then to talk to Ariella, and then Ariella's telling me stuff that she knows. And eventually I figured out where she was. So I've located where Ariella is. I can't really divulge where that is, and that's why I was wondering whether I should say anything. But she's not actually very far from me at all, but it's in a very secure location that I don't have access to. I know she's safe there, and it's a very nice place that she is in. And she's being fed. There's lots of food. So I had been trying to direct Ariella how to fly back home, but she was a bit worried that if she loses her way back to where she currently is, that she's going to get completely lost. She won't find home. She won't find there. So she was very worried about getting lost in between. She said when she very first got lost, she said, I felt like I migrated, because she was flying around so much trying to find home. She was really, really trying to get back. But now that she's found like a comfortable place, she seems to have made a new life for herself. She's got new friends, and she's quite settled there. So the last time I spoke to Ariella was a couple of months ago, and the last time before this time, I'll get up to the more recent one. And I'd asked her if she'd had any ducklings, and she sadly said, no, there's something wrong with my eggs. And I explained that, well, she needed a drake to fertilize her eggs, and she probably would need to be a cool duck, because that's the breed that she is. And I promised her that if she can come home, then in the spring I would help her have ducklings. Yeah, I'd have to find a drake somewhere, because I only have girls at home. So she seemed very interested in that idea at the time. Anyway, I checked in with Ariel again just recently when I had reached out to connect with Jasper on the other side to try and understand what happened to him. And the most recent update is that Ariella has actually met a boy. Well, so she says they really like each other. But he's not sticking around much. He kind of flips back in when he feels like it. Sounds like he's got some other girls on the go. That's kind of a familiar story, isn't that? But now Ariella tells me she has 8 ducklings. So she's busy looking after them, which means there's no chance of her coming back while she's raising her little ones. But that makes me happy to know that she's living a full and natural life. And even though my ducks are very domesticated, and she was the most domesticated duck of them all that you could ever meet, really, I'd always encourage them to live as natural a life as possible during the daytime when they go out, so they can learn, so they can forage. And I didn't clip their flight feathers because I believed it was important for them to give them the the choice to fly if they wanted to, knowing that they really wouldn't want to leave home, because home was all that they knew and loved, and obviously their mummy is here, and they feel safe here. And it was so lovely. It used to give me such delight when Ariella used to love flying into my arms. So I used to give her little claps, and then she would fly into my arms. Sometimes she'd do it before, like she was so eager that I wasn't prepared. I'd have to suddenly catch her. But that was so cute. So yeah, I didn't want to clip her wings. And also for safety reasons, if there were predators, so at least they could fly away. So, and I never really wanted to force an animal to stay with me if they didn't want to. I mean, my cat comes and goes through the cat flap. She comes home all the time, apart from when she was really young, and sometimes I wouldn't see her for a couple of days, but that's another story. She's more settled now. So as I said, there's no chance for coming back while she's raising her little ones, but it makes me happy to know she's living a full and natural life, and I'm still holding out for that. Maybe one day she will just fly by, drop in, say hi. Wouldn't that be lovely? So yeah, it's nice to know there's still hope. And if you're skeptical about animal communication, I completely understand that, but in my experience, I've been doing it for many years actually, not with Kathy, previously with a different animal communicator, and I've always found it extremely helpful. It's been really invaluable, and I found it pretty accurate. So it's brought me peace to know that Ariella's doing well, and I had a chat with Jasper, and he's happy on the other side. He's communicated that his passing was a shock for him too. He said he just got sick very suddenly, and there was literally nothing that could have been done to save him. So at least that kind of helped me come to terms with the fact that I was thinking, well, was there something I could have done for him? And he sent me some lovely personal messages, and says that he plans to return in some form in the next year or two. So I can look forward to that. So yeah, these losses, as you can see, have been quite devastating. I will always miss both Ariella and Jasper. They were irreplaceable characters. So yeah, when people say, oh, you can get another rabbit, you can get another duck, I think anybody that's had a pet, they know that their pets can't really be replaced. Yes, you can get another one, but they'll never be the same. So yeah, obviously it's quite emotional talking about this, but thank you for your patience during this time. And I'll be posting more videos about my usual topics related to hair and scalp health, and obviously that won't be so emotional. So I'll speak to you soon. Okay, bye.